Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Refuge from Narcissism, and this refugee video is sponsored by contribution from Amanda, aka Snowflake, and here's her story. Here's my new one about what's been going on at work. The last 9 months or so. I've been going back and forth with myself about sharing this one, but I also realize that holding back, I am denying myself validation. So fuck that. This shit needs to be told. Remember how my original store I reported Captain Save-A-Ho for sexual harassment? Remember how they took me off the schedule and forced me to transfer to another location? Yeah, it's retail. Retail, the narcissist is always going to thrive, and they're going to go for the path of least resistance. I remember there was someone else involved in that as well. Do you remember Kaylee, who was born... yes, Kaylee, who was born Austin, had taken their life shortly after, and I had found out they went through shit with the same Captain Save-A-Ho? Well, there's more to that, and it finally came to an end recently. Kaylee wasn't the only trans person I worked with. When the first store needed help, one of the workers from the new store would come in and help. So I met her before I transferred. Oh. Okay, let's just see where it goes. This has taught me about another annoying trauma behavior I have, which is latching on to familiarity, which I did at the new store, so I'll give this person a nickname, Libby the Retard. All I'm going to say is this, I know I've made my opinion known about this subject, and all I'm going to say is this: they're never happy people. They're always miserable. They're never happy people. That's about as far as I can, in this new culture, in this new error. It's about as far as you can go. They're never happy people. It's always drama after drama. I'm sorry, Libby, not Libby, who was Kaylee, killed herself. But again, they're not happy people. And what you are doing after Captain Save-A-Ho and Inky Binky, there is some kind of draw to alternate sexual behavior that is drawing you to these people. And you're going to continue to draw. You got to break the cycle. You cannot save anybody till you save yourself. So I'll give this person a nickname Libby the Libtard. So the best way I've been able to describe this person is a female-ish person who has face stubble. You're going to get me in so much trouble. Face stubble, and doesn't shave their armpits or wear deodorant. And the shit I've had to deal with is like Munchausen at work. At first, I liked Libby until the mask started to fall off and scenarios in that normal world would just happen actually started. I'm sorry. At first, I liked Libby until the mask started to fall off and scenarios that in a normal world just wouldn't happen actually started to happen. Well, that's narcissism. In a normal world, none of this would happen. In a normal world. She would blame us for her not being able to use the bathroom because we never came up to the register and asked if she needed to. Like, wait, what? Bitch, you're a grown up. You're an adult grown up. Use your words and let someone know you need to use the bathroom. It was weird. Shit like that. Yeah, this is somebody. This, in most cases, is an extreme need for attention. All of it. All of it. To the point where nothing is their fault and it's your fault they didn't go to the bathroom. This is a very difficult video to do in this environment. Another incident was right before closing. We had a mother and daughter in the store, and the daughter stole something. I called my boss and asked what he'd like me to do. He said kick them out of the store, so I followed what he said. I relayed this to Libby, and since she's been with the company for 4 years, I felt she was more suited to handle it without escalation. So I went into the office to eliminate necessary anxiety that might be triggered. First of all, neither one of you should be going up to shoplifters if you're not supposed to be. I know the company you work for. I can't believe your boss told you to fucking do that. Told you to approach a shoplifter? Oh, maybe they do it without LP, but there is a way. You don't just kick them out of the store. You got to get back what you need. You got to get signature, because you can't just say you stole something and let somebody walk out of here. They could turn around and sue you. Or maybe, you know what? This is dinosaur me talking. You know, like a rational person. These are companies that just allow people to rob and loot them, and so who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? But a company that's going to go through, because one of your last videos, they had LP, you were talking to LP, so now I'd lose my mind. I'd lose my mind working for these companies. I'd lose my mind. Well, the mother, after they left, called the store and asked for me by name. First red flag. Turns out Libby played stupid and said that I told her that they had to leave and she didn't know why. This is why you don't fucking do this. You open yourself up to so much fucking liability. This is on your manager. This is on your manager. It's better off you just let them walk out the door with it. Otherwise, the bad publicity. So now I had to speak to an angry mother over the phone who was trying to pull the race card on me. Of course. The phone call ends in the woman telling me to expect a call from her lawyer. These kinds of incidents kept happening, and she would be the reason for it. Then she would confront me afterwards. Basically, I was dealing with a down-low borderline male who was trans, but this time at work. My strong work ethic and drive makes a lot of people look lazy. So the ones who are actually lazy look pretty bad, and their poor work ethic starts to get noticed, and hers was getting noticed, and she didn't like it. During another incident, she was standing next to me at the other register while I rung up a lady who was reloading her card. I put the amount and checked the money with the marker. The $400 immediately turned black. So I was holding money outstretched to Libby till the lady lunged at me. Out of instinct, I moved my arm away from her. During this, the lady grabbed her card and put it back in her purse while yelling and getting hostile, demanding the money back. I wasn't going to give her money back. Yeah, that's how you know you got somebody trying to pass counterfeit. But unfortunately, Libby had the money and she handed it right back to that bitch. Well, the transaction went through, so she had the loaded card and the $400 back. Right, but you should be able to suspend that card right after she walks out of the building. There's got to be a way to suspend that card, to void it out. There's got to be. Has to be. LP has to have a system to do that. There's no way you're giving out, you're loading cards and LP doesn't have a way to suspend that system. They have to. Libby's suggestion for me was to call LP. Yes, was to call LP and tell him what happened, and I snapped at her. No, that's the right thing to do there. I told her no one's talking to LP until I talk to my boss about the incident. And if she tries to do it behind my back, I'll make sure they know that she's the one who handed the lady the money back. I told her she's just as guilty as I am, and I'll take her down with me if she tries to pull this shit. I knew she was trying to get me to talk to LP to get me to basically get myself fired. I wasn't going to play that game. Yeah, but when you don't tell LP something like that went down, you're going to get yourself fired anyway. You didn't do anything wrong. Even handing her the money back to avoid the hostile situation, you could have just given her the money back and held the card, or if she had the card, you just void the card. You go in and you void the last transaction. You just void the transaction. Boom. That's it. Done. On that register, once you void that transaction, that'll invalidate the card. You should have called LP. LP could have put a hold on it, could have suspended the card immediately. That actually was the right thing to do, but she's probably she don't know that. She's probably telling you that for the wrong motivation, for the wrong reason. The real problem is your boss. And I told you this the last time about that. He's like, you guys are woefully untrained. Woefully untrained. For the rest of the night, she kept mentioning how I'm going to be written up, and then she would confront me and then remind me again and then comfort me again. She would comfort me, then remind me again, and then comfort me again. Listen, Amanda, the next time something like that, just get a hold of me. Just email me. I'll tell you what to do. When I talked to my boss about it, he said he didn't know she was standing right there with me during the incident. This bitch tried to throw me under the bus, saying she wasn't up there with me. I showed my boss the footage, and he was shocked. Slowly, he started to see what was going on with me and Libby. The scariest incident happened during my low point back in August, September. I was setting a planogram when I heard Libby frantically call me on the walkie. I couldn't understand her, and she never calls on the walkie in that kind of tone. So, of course, it triggers me into, oh, my God, something happened. So I go up to the register, and she says, hurry, I need you to go after those ladies, saying as if somebody was injured. So I ran out not knowing what I'm looking for, and I started walking down to one end of the front parking slots, and all of a sudden I hear yelling. So I'm confused because it's muffled yelling, and it's more than one person. So I walk towards the noise and I notice it's coming from inside a vehicle. These two large ladies moving things around under their seats, more shoplifters. And I also noticed they're yelling at me. I was still trying to figure out what the hell was going on when I saw one of the ladies reaching into the side door panel for something while yelling at me. I spend enough time on the streets, let alone with dangerous people, to know that shit was going south quick. So I slowly put my hands slightly up, backing away, shaking my head, basically letting them know I'm not interested in going back inside. The moment I go back into the store, I go right up to Libby and ask her what exactly she was having me run after. She says casually that two ladies stole large bags worth of stuff. Okay, cool. So Libby, who is physically a male, called you, I think you probably weigh 100 pounds soaking wet, to go after two large shoplifters, female shoplifters. Trying to get your ass kicked. What is this? What is the loss prevention policy in your fucking company? I can find out, actually. Okay, cool. So you purposely put my life in danger because, well, why not? I watched the footage and I noticed that only one of them entered the store. So how did she see both of them? And the lady didn't take anything that I could see. Libby voided the transaction and put the bags behind the counter. She waited until the lady passed the door threshold before lifting the walkie to her mouth and calling for me like she did. So there was a sale, she voided it. Okay, but guys, it gets better. It gets way better. It just so happens that the entrance cameras and the exterior cameras were down. I had no knowledge of this, but Libby knew they were down. I only found out when I watched the register camera of her walkie bullshit and tried to watch the outside footage, and it said no signal. If anything happened to me, no one would have been caught. Honestly, it 100% felt like she was setting me up to get harmed, if not worse. For my literal safety, I chose not to speak about work for the last while until she was fully transferred for at least a month at another store. Thanks to you, I knew download BPD men are dangerous, but I let my guard down for 1 second, and God, I was lucky that nothing happened to me. Again, I can't thank you enough, Ollie, for all your guidance and knowledge. This channel has saved my life a few times. I truly believe that. Thank you for sacrificing to try to help all of us. You'll never know how big of an impact you've made in our lives. Amanda, do not go after another fucking shoplifter. Do not. You better find out in your company what exactly the loss prevention policies are in regards to shoplifting. Okay, because I can't believe that it's company policy to allow sales associates to go out after fucking shoplifters into the parking lot and to go into cars. We weren't allowed to do that with Macy's. We did it anyway. The company didn't want us to. It was against company policy, a policy we all violated. Chasing people across parking lots has been against most of these companies' policies for 20, 30 years now. We're doing it anyway, and we all understood if we got caught and something went down, it was on us. But we were the loss prevention personnel. We were trained. We were the security people, not fucking salespeople. But you're working for a company, just like I'm afraid what to say here on my channel. They don't know what to say in regards to that situation with Libby. Because you're right. Libby did want you hurt. Because they're resentful, they're angry, they're never happy people. They're never happy people. Some of the worst altercations I had gotten into at work have been with people like Libby. They're not happy people. They thrive on misery and drama. Thrive on it. And you know who they really hate? They hate regular women. That's just the way it is. And that's about as far as I can go on this subject in this current climate. So I'm glad you're safe, but you got to stop reacting at that job to stuff like this, stuff that's going to get you hurt, get you injured. Okay, the fact that they got you running back DVR footage is... They have LP, but I guess they only focus their LP on employees, which they need to. That's where it needs to be mostly anyway, because that's where you're going to lose most of your... They don't care about shoplifting. Here's got to be your attitude on this. If the company doesn't give a fuck about shoplifting, then you shouldn't give a fuck about shoplifting. Do not put yourself in danger for their fucking product that they don't give a shit about enough to protect you. And don't put yourself in a position to allow yourself to get hurt by somebody who's trying to get you hurt. So I hope that helps. Thanks again, Amanda, for another contribution and story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like me to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or you'd just like to make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you, all of this goes away, as this channel is completely demonetized by YouTube. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Refuge from Narcissism. Take care, everybody.